Welcome once again to Guerra Guerra. We're sounding off on different current events here, and we want to know what you have to think about these also.
Today is March 15th of 2025, and today we're going into our fourth case study, The Power of Perspective, where we're going to be going over how a mindset can shape your financial future.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the minimalist or the maximalist type mindset? And so those are the type of things we're going to think about. If you want to pause this now and Google those if you've never heard of them. But meet Sarah and Ben, two high school seniors with similar part-time jobs and incomes. Sarah tends to see money as a source of stress and limitations in her life, while Ben, he views them as tools and things to achieve his goals. So this is the different mindset we're talking about. And as they navigate their first taste of financial independence, their mindset significantly influences the choices and shapes their paths towards their future. So again, let's talk about Sarah's story. This is, again, the scarcity mindset. And would you think this is kind of the minimalist, or I guess they're not exactly.
Yeah, scarcity and maximalist, minimalist, and abundance. They sound like they could be potatoes, but they definitely do have a lot of difference, because minimalists and scarcity could, a lot of them do overlap, but there are main differences of basically how things are. Like,
I can see four quadrants that we would need to step into for this.
Yeah, in my, the scarcity mindset, they definitely, the main difference I think is how they view money. The minimalist is more of a lifestyle thing. They could have a lot of money, they could have an abundant mindset of basically the things that help them achieve their dreams, and they could still be humble and basically want a minimalist lifestyle. They could not want as much and still have an abundance mindset, or still want a lot and have a scarcity mindset.
So it's definitely not the same thing. In Sarah's case, she's got a scarcity mindset, and she often worries about money and feels like it's never going to be enough, and that there's not enough out there, I guess. She tends to focus on what she can't afford rather than what she can afford, and she frequently makes impulsive purchases to relieve the stress of, I guess, friends, peer pressure, things of that nature, leading to overspending and then eventually regret. So Sarah avoids thinking about her financial future and finds it overwhelming and very anxiety inducing for her. So that's not what you want to feel when you're thinking about money, and that's the scarcity mindset. And yeah, we know people like that.
Definitely. I could think of a few times in my life I had a scarcity mindset.
Yeah, and so being able to flip that over. So let's compare that to the abundance mindset. And here's what Ben is. He views money more as a resource that can help him achieve his dreams. And he's great at, focusing on growth opportunities. He's very disciplined in his spending, creating a budget and prioritizing saving for his goals. And he actively seeks information about his own personal finance and investing, and he's eager to learn and grow his knowledge. So that's the abundance mindset.
Yeah, definitely hearing both of these definitely shows how different, when going back to comparing the minimalist and maximalist, because scarcity definitely has a lot of negative connotations to it. Fearing over how basically always needing more money, always having stress and using money to relieve that stress. Compared to just minimalist or maximalist, those are definitely very different. Definitely, I agree, the four quadrants.
And I think maybe the minimalist, what would you think? Is the minimalist more of one quadrant than the other?
I think we're comparing apples to oranges, basically.
Yeah, true. All right, so let's analyze the impact. How does Sarah's and Ben's mindset influence their financial behaviors and decisions? And how is the economy, let's bring in today, like you said, March 15th, 2025, and what's going on in our economy, how is that impacting them now?
Well, first, for the scarcity mindset, with everything going up, it's going to hit them a lot harder. They're going to be a lot more stressed, which could result in a lot more impulse purchasing, especially if they don't course correct for all this things that can be anxiety-inducing or overwhelming.
Yeah,
especially thinking about the financial future.
And for those who aren't paying attention or who are watching this at a later date, just in the last few weeks, the market has corrected a good 10%. And so there's a lot of fear, if you want to call it that, in the stock market as far as where your money is, where it's going. A lot of retirement accounts have dropped. So there's kind of that fear right now. So if you are in that mindset, you probably are even more stressed and anxiety than usual. And if you're not, I think now is a great time to get education about it so you can understand why did this happen. And I think in understanding why sometimes provides a little more relief, maybe. I don't know. How else could you, get out of that anxiety that you're feeling?
Well, the biggest fear, of course, is the unknown. So being able to understand or just put a face behind it always will bring some peace of mind, even if it's a negative thing. Knowing how much of a negative it is, or being able to define it, definitely helps.
I agree. And so in shifting perspectives, what steps could Sarah take to shift her mindset as from that scarcity to the abundance, and how can she develop a more positive and empowering relationship with money?
It'll definitely be easier if she has a people of an abundance mindset in her social group. Being able to go to them for assistance and such things, as doing things alone in any regard is always going to be tougher. But being able to have like-minded individuals, or at least individuals of a likened mind to what she wants to achieve. And that's, I think, the biggest goal, is her being able to recognize the problem and being able to push to find that solution.
I like that. Surrounding yourself with people of that abundant mindset. And then what I had said earlier, education, understanding, the different types of education. And maybe third, figuring out other habits, specific financial habits that she can get into to cultivate this abundance mindset, and set themselves up for a brighter future. Constant savings, out of sight, out of mind, understanding the rule of 72. And so as you get more educated, I think a lot of this information becomes empowering and maybe less stressful.
Yeah, so definitely. And thinking about it, like the long-term impact of both of these mindsets are definitely, we see it a lot in like people that we know, people or that we see online or stuff, that though if you think about it, those type of mindsets, how they talk about money, how they view money, can really give a good idea of what type of mindset they are based on how they describe it.
And I'll share with you folks, the people that don't want to share information with us as financial consultants and don't want to get help are the ones that need it the most, unfortunately. And Creme Del Core, he can vouch for that because he loves to complete things all the time with his SMART. Those are specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound goals. And he'll teach you how to do that in our very first chapter. But let's not digress too far, because I want to stay on current topics, and I was curious if there was some additional things here. No, that was it, huh? Some additional things in the course. But current topics, we're talking about the market just dropping. We're talking about the potential Ukrainian war ending with the Soviet Union and the United States hopefully being a big part of that. We had talked about in some of our other podcasts the tariffs that are going on and all of this that's impacting the market and the economy. So what do you think will happen in the next, let's just call it the next year or two? We don't want to go too far out.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and that's probably why the market's so uneasy and volatile, because there's a lot of like what happens for the tariffs. China's threatening that they're willing to do any type of war. What if China decides that they're going to escalate beyond just a tariff war? What if Canada continues to match ours and Trump continues to add on top? What if that just escalates infinitely?
So there's a lot of, like we said, unknowns in what's going on politically that affects our economy. And so we want to be understanding of what's going on in those places. And sometimes with what's going on right now, a lot of people don't understand. So don't feel bad if you don't understand, but realize that time is definitely on your side when it comes to these irrational things and investing your money. Because a lot of people most recently have come to me and said, is this the time to invest? And my answer actually is more yes than it is no, because if you're dollar cost averaging right now, as the market is going down, you're buying it cheaper. And in the next 5 to 10 years, where will it be? Well, there's probably a very high probability it will be higher than where it is now. That's just what our decades of our investment have shown. Now, could that turn around in the political forefront of the next few years and wars and things like that? Who knows? It definitely could. So that's the unknown. But yeah, as long as you can keep a positive mindset, keep dollar cost averaging, and understand what you're investing in, I think those are the most crucial things. And it's not all about the stock market. Real estate, tangibles, fine art and things of that nature right now are some of the best things and holding some of the best value. They're not dropping like the stock market, but again, it's more of a private placement. And that's part of the wealth gap that I see getting wider. The richer are getting richer and the middle class are getting poorer, and you've got to try to get yourself onto that other side. So again, in this gig economy, there's lots of ways to do that. Anything final words for us?
Nothing to add for the main topic, besides mainly our just closing. We've basically gone through everything we wanted to talk about.
And yeah, this was case number 4, the power of perspective. What is your perspective? Scarcity, abundance, minimalist, maximalist? We want to hear from you. So thanks for listening.
See you next time.